Hello, so today we're going to design and create I'm on a wobbly table, a name label that we can put in just the seam of our product. What you can do is you can come up with your own design. What you can do is if you fold your fabric, you'll get a piece of fabric like this. If you fold it in half, now some of your fabric will be in the seam, so you will sew here a line of stitches that will put it in the seam. So what you can do is you've got all this space here and on the other side where you can put a design of your own. So you should have designed it in your books already, and then what you can do is you can just put it on here. So what we're going to do is you can either do this in embroidery, which kind of shows more skill, and obviously if you do it in embroidery, you wouldn't fold it in half until, so if we mark where we folded it in half, you would draw your design here and then sew over the top of it, and then you wouldn't fold it in half. So I'm going to just do a design of some initials. So I'm going to do my initials, which are L and try P and R. Okay, now draw it in pencil first. Okay, so if you go wrong, you can rub it out. Okay, LPR, and it's quite cool to try and do it in maybe a graffiti style. And I know it's a small piece of fabric, but draw it as large as you can, because the next thing we're going to do is we are going to use some heat transfer crayons. So I'm going to decide what colour I want my letters to be, or if I'm going to have an effect on them. So when I say an effect, what I would say is it's nice to blend the colours together. So I've started off with orange, I don't know why, and I'm going to go around the outside of my letters with the heat transfer crayons. Try and stretch them as you do this. Now what's quite nice is if you do an ombre effect, so like where you blend sort of yellow into orange like this and sort of blend them together. That's a bit dirty, never mind. And then into red like this. Okay, and then you can blend those colours together, okay, because it kind of works like oil pastels like that. And you could do that across all of your letters. So draw around the outside and then blend up the top of the letters. So you got yellow into orange. Okay, I'm going to get that inside there and into red. So this obviously shows a little bit more control. And then it's quite nice if you smudge the orange in, it smooths the red that we've got already. That works a bit better than the other one because the other one was a bit dirty. Maybe clean them off on some scrap paper to make sure that we have the effects that we're looking for. And the same with the yellow, you can blend that into the orange. So I'm going to do my last letter. So stretch it open. Okay, and obviously this will be on one side of your label, but you could have a picture on the other side of your label, and it could be connected to part of your theme, of your specification. So again, I'm blending yellow first, building up to orange in the middle, and then going into red. So because these letters are kind of connected, I'm going to do a little rim, and then I'm going to add some red around there, and then blend that together to make that a smoother finish. Okay, so I've got my letters there. Okay, if you get a black or a darker colour, okay, we can go around the outside. Do test the crayons out first to see what colours they are, because some of them are quite dark or might be slightly dirty. So it's good to test them out first, like that. And that then makes that stand out a bit more, and we will know who made the product, like that. Okay, so all the way around the outside, like that. So you can see it's starting to have a bit more impact. Just the contrast of the black and white around the outside of the colour just makes it stand out a little bit more. Okay, because obviously that will just, you'll have to iron this to fix it, or put it in the heat press. I think an iron is quite small in between pieces of paper. And then obviously that will just stick out of your product, showing us now who made it, what the company's name is. So obviously just your initials is enough for that, so we can work out who did it. But you could also, if you want to come up with a company logo, so for instance, you could decide that you were going to have a giant eyeball as your logo, and you might have inside that some numbers of when it started. So for instance, I might put 1979. Okay, and then let's have some eyelashes. Okay, and then you could like have an image on the other side, and use the technique that I showed you about colouring and using the black to outline, or darker colours to outline, to make sure it stands out. That contrast, obviously the black would be the middle, and we could colour that in. And then you could have try and blend different colours together, so light blue and dark blue. There's lots of different blues and whites and greys that we can blend together with the heat transfer colours. There's a light blue. It's got light blue and dark blue, and we can just have lots of stripes around the outside, and then maybe we could have the year in a bright colour, so it shows that it is important. So just coming up with a logo design and probably your initials to say who the company was that made the product that you were making. Yeah, so you can see that you'll be able to put some personality onto that as well. Experiment with pressing hard and blending colours together. Obviously we talk about blending harmonious colours together in art, and it's the same in design. It makes it more eye-catching and more comfortable in the eye. And that's obviously my logo here. Okay, if you use white, then that can blend the colours together to make it look a bit smoother on top, a bit more interesting. And like I said, every time you add some more crayon or bits to your design, you can press it so it won't smudge afterwards. So we've got on one side of our label, we've got our initials, so we know who made it, and on the other side we have a logo. Right, I look forward to seeing yours, and obviously those will get stitched in our final products after being pressed. Thank you.